Welcome back to the third and final day of the 2022 End Social Isolation and Loneliness Action Forum. I'm Andrew McPherson. I'm the founder and board chair of the Coalition to End Social Isolation and Loneliness. A sincere thanks to each and every one of you who have tuned in over these past 2 days, now our third day, and who join us here again. Today we begin with an acknowledgement, an important acknowledgement of a late colleague who many of you knew, respected, and now miss dearly. Marcia Slater Johnston, in addition to being a friend and valued member of the Coalition to End Social Isolation and Loneliness and founder of the Coalition's Older Adults Working Group, was the founder of Make Room at the Table, an affinity group engaged in the aging field. Make Room at the Table's mission is reflective of Marcia's tenacity and passion for creating a more connected world. They seek to identify, share, and develop strategies to alleviate social isolation and loneliness among the aging population, and to bridge the digital divide for older adults. I had the great pleasure, and many of our team members did, of working with Marcia over the past several years, and we miss her very, very much. Following her passing, the Foundation for Social Connection has created an award for outstanding leadership in community-based efforts to reduce social isolation and loneliness in honor of our late friend, Marcia, and to carry on her legacy by encouraging and supporting others to follow in her footsteps. So now we'll hear from several of Marcia's friends and colleagues to learn more about her and her impressive life's work, and we'll be announcing the recipient of the inaugural Marcia Slater Johnston Award. First, we'll hear from Phyllis Mitzen, a consultant for the Center for Long-Term Care Reform at the Health and Medicine Policy Research Group. Following Phyllis, we'll hear from Maureen Feldman, director of the Social Isolation Impact Project at the Motion Picture Television Fund. And then finally, we'll hear from our friend, Kathleen Killam, founder and executive director of Social Health Labs, where she'll announce this inaugural award. And they all join us this morning to honor Marcia. So first, I'm going to turn to Phyllis, who will share a few words. Phyllis, welcome to the Action Forum.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And it's such an honor to be presenting this for Marcia. The first time I met Marcia Slater Johnston was in 2007, when she and her beloved husband, Roger, attended the first meeting of our neighborhood organization's newly formed Aging Issues Task Force. They were indeed a force. Roger had served on Mayor Daley's first advisory council of Chicago's Area Agency on Aging. Marcia was a print and broadcast journalist with a rich and varied background. The two of them knew a lot about the Village movement, which was beginning to build and expand from its early beginnings in Beacon Hill, Massachusetts. The two of them were committed from the start to encourage the development of a structure of community and support in our densely populated high-rise neighborhood in Chicago for people who might be isolated, lonely, or who may not know where to turn when they needed help. When Roger died, and as Marcia faced her own physical challenges, her empathy for those who were facing increased physical and emotional problems alone profoundly deepened. She belonged to two Chicago area villages, ours and another, and she took a great delight in joining an improv group at the Second City with the Village Chicago. Over lunch, she would tell me how the prompts pulled her out of herself, triggering her delightful sense of humor. We had a lot of laughs over many of those. Marcia had no children, and after Roger died, it became increasingly important to her to leave a lasting legacy. She reached out to her alma mater, the Medill School of Journalism, where with much persistence, Marcia, Ruth Ann Watkins, and I were invited to give a lecture to students about newsworthy topics in the field of aging. Her determination was contagious. Marcia had worked on this for years, and when the invitation finally came, I was in rehab recovering from an accident. She set the date, and she insisted that I would be there. I wasn't quite sure, but she was right. I showed up in a wheelchair with the three of us, and we gave a presentation. And most importantly, several students took the bait and they wrote stories. She connected with Alice Hinliter at the Newberry Library, who worked with her over several years to create Marcia's extensive journalism, articles, and history. I was so proud to contribute the article she had written for the Skyline Village Chicago newsletter. I remember how satisfied she felt when she submitted the final documents to the Newberry Library, and her archive became available for the next generation of young journalists, particularly young women. You can find it at newberry.org and type in her full name. She was a true pioneer in this field, but each holiday reminded her of the loneliness and isolation she personally felt that was captured vividly when a friend told her, "I would have invited you to my Thanksgiving dinner, but there was no room at my table." Make room at the table became her mantra and her purpose. She worked simultaneously to gather experts in the field of aging and compiling a list of things people could do for themselves and for others to combat loneliness over the holidays. The list and the people in the organization she gathered grew exponentially, and as you all know, including the foundation. Those of us here in Chicago continue to meet under the Make Room at the Table auspices. She did not want it to become a formal organization, but it continues to bring us together to make sure that people understand how important it is to make room at the table for one more, and Marcia's legacy lives on. I now turn it over to Maureen Feldman, who will speak further.
Hi, good morning, and what a great story, Phyllis. I am Maureen Feldman from the Motion Picture Television Fund, and I had the great privilege of meeting Marcia. Actually, we met in 2020 when she attended a summit that my organization had hosted on social isolation and loneliness, inviting speakers from across the country to talk about the different issues. We then got the opportunity to meet through the Coalition to End Social Isolation and Loneliness around this older adult working group, which I will talk about a little bit today. But first, I wanted to tell you, Marcia and I preferred to talk on the phone or to Zoom rather than email because we loved the connection. We found out early on that what we had in common was a dedication and passion to just keep pushing this issue out there. We realized there were researchers, there are academics, there are a lot of people evaluating these kinds of programs. But the whole idea of make room at the table was about general, normal, everyday people taking actions. And that's what we decided to do. So when she asked me to be part of the older adults working group, and to help and assist her in informing it and identifying what we should do, I was honored. So the older adult working group involves several organizations. So far, we have USA, GSA, hospice organizations, the Juanita Grant Foundation, Front Porch, Meals on Wheels, Never Tech Late, and of course MPTF. And we come together monthly. Currently, we are identifying how we can best add value to the Coalition to End Social Isolation and Loneliness. Our goal is to create a platform where we can support one another, we can learn from one another, and we can help improve how we can help others access these programs, and create structures for sustainability. And eventually we will provide hopefully even some products that will help invite others to come to this group and perhaps launch programs of their own supporting them. I know that that was part of Marcia's dream because we talked about it a lot. When she started her organization, she said, where do I get this information? How do I learn? I don't know what to do, but I know I'm going to do something. And that's that dedication and that passion that we're talking about here today. I'm sure many of you who are listening also want to do something for your community. This particular group focuses on older adults, but I know Marcia would encourage everyone to do something for any community that you're working in. The whole idea is to do something. So I was honored to work with Marcia for that very short period of time. And this group is very dedicated to carry on this mission in her honor. And we're so happy and appreciative that the Coalition to End Social Isolation and Loneliness supports this group and encourages us to build it out in a way that will be more inviting and value to all of you members, hopefully at some point. So thank you so much again for honoring her and for all the work you do. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Casley, who's going to announce the winner of this very innovative award. And again, just in Marcia's honor, carry on, everyone.
Thank you, Maureen. So my name is Casley Killam. I'm the founder and executive director of Social Health Labs. Since January 2021, Social Health Labs has given out and continues to give out $1,000 microgrants each month to support individuals across the U.S. who are taking initiative to reduce loneliness in their neighborhoods. Building on that tradition, we are very proud to be sponsoring this award. The nominees were all inspiring, but one winner was chosen by a selection committee consisting of around 20 individuals representing different coalition member organizations. When I found out who the winner was, I could not have been more thrilled. It so happens that I've had the honor of knowing her for the past 5 years and witnessing her leadership in action. I'm overjoyed to announce that the first ever winner of the Marcia Slater Johnston Award is Marie Jobling. 15 years ago, Marie co-founded the Community Living Campaign, a nonprofit dedicated to cultivating connections to help older adults and people with disabilities age and thrive in San Francisco. Under Marie's leadership, CLC pioneered solutions for isolation and loneliness and measured their impact years before this issue got any media attention or gained the traction that it has today. I'll briefly share a few examples of CLC's programs and impact. First, community connector networks of people who support each other locally has led to 84% of participants knowing at least one neighbor to ask for help, 93% being less isolated, and 100% feeling more engaged in the community. Second, the SF Reserve program matches older adults with local employment opportunities and has helped 85% of participants increase their social interaction. And third, Neighborhood Tech Connect provides digital access and literacy training, resulting in 92% of participants feeling more connected to friends and family. In addition to being a respected leader, Marie is a passionate advocate for policy change, influential among local city officials, and truly a collaborative partner to all. Her work is always centered around listening to people's needs, building relationships and coalitions, and serving the local community. She has too much humility to take credit, but it's not an exaggeration to say that the city and residents of San Francisco have Marie to thank for being one of the key people who has transformed the local landscape of aging to be less lonely and more connected. Please visit sfcommunityliving.org to learn more and support CLC's impact. And Marie, congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you so much to all three of you. Incredibly powerful remarks from Phyllis, Maureen, and Casley. We extend our sincerest thanks for being with us today and helping us to share Marcia's memory and maintain her legacy. And congratulations to Marie Jobling for being the recipient of this inaugural award. We're so looking forward to seeing all you continue to accomplish to create a more socially connected community in years to come. On a personal note, Eddie Garcia and I and our team are personally committed to seeing this award offered on an annual basis. We look forward to seeing Marcia's impact continue for years to come.